Have you ever felt like your peace was being ripped away by someone who only sees themselves? As if your energy was being sucked away day after day, your confidence weakened, and your joy, little by little, disappeared? Living with someone who ignores your limits, disregards your feelings, and lives according to their own ego can be devastating. Sometimes, this toxic presence silently saps your strength, making you question who you are, whether you are overreacting or if you are the problem. But what if I told you that there is a moment when God intervenes? That there is a point at which He, with His powerful and loving hand, decides to put an end to this cycle and bring restoration? Today we are going to talk about something very profound: the real and transformative impact of when God removes a narcissist from your life. And it is not just about removing a problematic person from your path. It goes much further. When God acts, He does not just close a door. He leads you down a new path, opening windows of light and breaths of life into areas that were previously completely suffocated. What seems like a loss is often the beginning of a profound healing. It is the demonstration that God cares for you intentionally, precisely, and, above all, with love. In this video, you will understand how this separation is not a punishment, but rather an act of mercy. It is as if God were saying, "Enough. It is enough. Now it is time for you to flourish." He does not only take away what hurts you, He also fills that space with something new, with something that brings you closer to Him, with peace, with clarity, with strength, and most importantly, with purpose, because God never removes something without a greater plan. He is always working on something good, even when you cannot yet see it. If you have ever been through, or are going through, a situation like this, I want to invite you to open your heart, because what seems like an end is often just the beginning. And this can be the beginning of the strongest, most balanced, and most connected to God's plan version that you have ever known. Before we continue, please like this post, subscribe to the channel if you want to receive more messages like this every week, and share it with someone who needs to hear this today. Now, let's dive into this very necessary topic together. Think of a tree. It grows, branches out, and over time it accumulates branches. Some strong and fruitful, others dry and heavy. When these dead branches are not removed, they prevent the tree from growing fully. They drain energy, divert resources, and break in the wind. But when a careful gardener decides to prune the tree, he is not hurting it. He is caring for it. He is helping it to grow with more vigor, more beauty, more life. In the same way, God, as the divine gardener, sometimes needs to cut away that which is preventing us from flourishing. Even if it hurts, even if it seems like loss, it is love. It is zeal. It is restoration. John 15 verse 2 teaches us, "Every branch in me that does not bear fruit He takes away, and every branch that does bear fruit He prunes, so that it will bear more." In other words, pruning is not a punishment. It is a preparation. It is God saying, "I want more for you." Could it be that what you are experiencing now, which seems like a rupture, a loneliness, or even an emptiness, is not, in fact, God freeing you for something greater? Could it be that the pain you feel is the echo of what is being healed within you? When the influence of someone manipulative leaves, something extraordinary happens. Little by little, like the sun after a storm, peace begins to emerge. That constant anxiety that accompanied you, that feeling of always walking on eggshells, begins to dissipate. You can breathe a sigh of relief again. Your limits, previously ignored, are reaffirmed. And your dignity, which may have been in tatters, begins to be firmly rebuilt. God begins to heal not only what was hurt, but also what you didn't even remember existed within you. Your strength, your genuine joy, your ability to dream. The relationships you once clung to out of fear, necessity, or habit are no longer your point of reference. Now, God shows you that your identity is not in others, but in Him. He begins to pull you back closer, like a father who takes his child's hand and says, "Let's start over. I have something better." As C.S. Lewis so wisely wrote, asterisk, "There are infinitely better things ahead than anything we leave behind." Asterisk, this phrase is not just beautiful. It is real. What God has for you is not just relief. It is transformation. It is purpose. It is abundant life. As you walk along this path, you will notice God's touch in the details. You will be surprised by the lightness that begins to inhabit your chest. You will be amazed by the new connections that arise. People who respect you, who value you, who do not demand that you shrink to fit into their world. You will walk with firmer steps, not out of pride, but because now you know who supports you. But more than all of this, you will enter into the fullness of your calling. That which seemed distant, that inner voice that was silenced for so long, will begin to resurface. And then you will realize everything that was taken away was actually making room for what God was already preparing. Psalm 139 verse 14 declares, "I praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful, and that is well known to me." Maybe for a while you forgot this. Maybe you were convinced by external voices or even by internal pain that there was something wrong with you. But the truth is, nothing about you is lost. What seemed erased, stifled, or distorted is still there, waiting to be rescued. For too long, you placed your worth in the hands of someone who only wanted control. Someone who manipulated with sharp words, who shaped your narrative, who made you believe you were inadequate, unlovable, unworthy of affection. But those words were never the truth. Like the fog that lifts after a long night, clarity returns when the influence of these toxic people is removed. And then what's left is you. Not a broken you, but an authentic, precious you, shaped with divine intent. The same God who placed the stars in the sky and commanded the seas is the God who formed you with purpose. No human opinion can redefine what He has already declared about you. C.S. Lewis wisely said, "Humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less." A narcissist does the opposite. He conditions you to shrink, to hide, to doubt, just so he can feel bigger. But true confidence is not arrogance. It is a quiet, firm assurance that you are who God says you are. And when you walk in that truth, manipulation loses its power. Emotional blackmail melts away. Oppression dissolves. The cycle breaks. Rebuilding your self-esteem may feel strange at first. You may be wary of praise. Your victories may still feel like luck. Speaking your mind can bring fear. But Isaiah 41 verse 10 declares it powerfully. "Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." God is not just restoring you, He is strengthening you. He is laying new foundations where there were once ruins. He is making you unshakable. And more than that, He is ensuring that you never again doubt your worth. As your confidence blossoms, so does your freedom. Decisions that were once guided by fear are now guided by wisdom. You begin to realize it was never too much. It was never too little. You were just standing in front of someone who didn't know how to handle your light. And now, you no longer have to diminish yourself to make others feel comfortable. But restoration is not just about moving forward. It is about moving forward with strength, with discernment, and with a new sense of identity in Christ. 2 Timothy 1 verse 7 reminds us, "God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." This is the foundation for the new chapter you are building. A chapter free of doubt, shame, and all the limitations that once held you back. And as this new confidence takes root, something wonderful happens. The people around you begin to change. You are no longer attracted to those who put you down. Now you attract people who lift you up, respect you, and see you. Is this restoration preparing you for relationships that reflect God's love, rather than distort it? When a garden is cleared of weeds, healthy plants finally have room to grow. And the same is true in your life. By removing toxic relationships, God is creating space for genuine connections, full of life, peace, and truth. Narcissists drain, isolate, and exhaust. But when your influence fades, God begins to bring people who reflect His love. People who build you up, not control you. Proverbs 13 verse 20 says, "He who walks with wise men becomes wise, but a companion of fools suffers harm." The relationships God is preparing for you will strengthen your spirit, not diminish it. For a long time, you may have struggled in relationships that required you to prove yourself all the time, where love was confused with constant effort, pain, and emotional drain. But God's love doesn't operate by those rules, and neither do the relationships He blesses. As your self-love is restored, your perception changes. You no longer tolerate what drains you. Now you recognize what is healthy, what bears fruit. C.S. Lewis observed, "Affection accounts for 9/10 of the solid and lasting happiness that exists in our lives." And it's true. The relationships that last after a season, the best ways to prune, are those that are rooted in mutual respect, lightness, and sincerity. They don't pressure you. They don't manipulate you. They don't require you to shrink to fit in. When God removes the wrong people, He does so to make room for those who will walk alongside you, not against you. It may seem strange at first. Being treated with kindness, without ulterior motives, can be scary. After years of manipulation and gaslighting, pure intentions seem like an unfamiliar language. But 1 John 4 verse 18 reminds you, there is no fear in love. On the contrary, perfect love drives out fear. Real relationships, whether friendships, family ties, or future partnerships, don't leave you feeling anxious or confused. They are marked by peace, trust, and mutual care. This change isn't just external. It's a transformation within you. You no longer operate from a place of neediness. Now, you approach people with discernment, with clarity, with wisdom. You don't chase, you don't beg, and you don't settle for less than what honors God. You walk with confidence because you know the right people will recognize your worth without you having to beg for it. These new connections reflect God's grace. They don't disturb your peace. And then, something even more profound happens. You realize that God isn't just restoring your connections. He's realigning you with your purpose. The people He brings now aren't distractions. They're part of the path, part of the mission, part of the plan. Divine connections don't just heal, they grow you. With them, you grow stronger, restore yourself, and fulfill the purpose God has placed upon your life. Two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor. Ecclesiastes 4 verse 9. The connections God sends strengthen you. They don't hinder your journey. They fuel your calling. And so, as one chapter closes, a new one begins. But it's important to remember, no relationship, no matter how strong, can replace God Himself. Could it be that in this season of renewal, God is also teaching you to trust Him more deeply, instead of seeking validation from others? When everything is taken away, when familiar voices are silenced, and old dependencies no longer sustain you, one truth remains: God is enough. A narcissist's presence creates false security. It traps its victims in cycles of fear, guilt, and emotional instability. But when God removes them, He doesn't leave a void. He draws ever closer to His children. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will make your paths straight. Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6. This phase of restoration is not about replacing what was lost, but about anchoring yourself in the one who never abandons you. At first, the silence may seem uncomfortable. The mind, conditioned by years of manipulation, may crave the chaos it once knew, mistaking confusion for normalcy. But God is not the author of confusion. He is the giver of peace. In this silence, God whispers His promises and teaches that your worth, your purpose, and your future have never depended on another human being. They have always been secure in Him. C.S. Lewis wrote, "Trusting in God requires beginning anew each day, as though nothing had been done." Dependence on God is not a one-time event. It is a daily act of surrender. The same faith that sustained you in the valley now guides you to the promised land. What was once uncertain now becomes an invitation to deep trust, because God's plans always surpass what was left behind. As this trust grows, your resilience grows stronger. You realize that even when all else fails, God remains faithful. Betrayals no longer define you. Now, they are reminders of how much God carried you when you thought you could not handle it. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, I will help you, and I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. Isaiah 41 verse 10. With this transformation, your focus changes. You no longer seek the approval of those who have hurt you. Your prayers cease to be pleas for human love and become bold declarations of faith. Human rejection is now understood as divine redirection. What seemed like loss was protection, and emptiness was space being prepared for something much greater. With this new dependence on God comes an unshakable peace. You no longer fear the unknown because you trust in the one who holds your future. The need for control dissolves, and you finally embrace the fact that His ways are higher, His timing is perfect, and His love is unchanging. The person you are becoming is not someone who merely survives. It is someone who thrives, deeply rooted in faith. But this journey of trust is not just about you. It is about the eternal purpose that has always been waiting to be lived. Could it be that by losing what has held you back, you are finally free to follow the calling God has given you? A ship anchored in shallow waters can never set sail. In the same way, when a narcissist ties you down, your purpose remains dormant. But now, with their control broken and your spirit healed, you are free. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Jeremiah 29 verse 11. What seemed like loss was God clearing the way. Yes, stepping into this new season can feel scary. The past has taught you to shut down, to shrink back, to doubt yourself. But God never called you to live in fear. He doesn't waste pain. He transforms it. Every hurt, every disappointment, every tear is being used to build the person you were born to be. As C.S. Lewis said, hardships often prepare ordinary people for extraordinary destinies. Your struggles were not in vain. They refined you, sharpened your judgment, and deepened your faith. You now walk with wisdom that comes only from healing pain, with authority from heaven. What once held you back is now part of your testimony. You begin to see gifts that were suppressed, passions that had been silenced coming to life. You are no longer distracted by toxic relationships. Now your energy is channeled into fulfilling God's purpose. For we are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. Ephesians 2 verse 10. Your purpose was never lost. It was just waiting to be embraced. This transformation is visible. Some around you will be inspired. Others may try to pull you back using guilt or manipulation. But now your identity is grounded in Christ, and your path is guided by truth, no longer by human expectations. With each step of obedience, doors open. Divine connections emerge. Resources appear. And the right people come, not to take from you, but to build alongside you. Because when you walk in alignment with God, He provides everything you need. Purpose is not about achievement. It is about transformation. This journey has never been just about breaking chains. It was about stepping into the fullness of who God created you to be. And now, as you stand on the brink of a new beginning, one question remains. Will you embrace the future God has in store for you, or will you let the past define you? When God removes toxic influences, He is not taking something away from you. He is making room for something greater. What once seemed like loss is actually divine protection. The pain of separation is real, but so is the promise of restoration. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it is springing up. Do you not perceive it? Isaiah 43 verse 19. God is not just closing doors. He is leading you into the future He has prepared. As you step forward, you will notice the transformation within you. Peace that once seemed impossible now anchors your heart. Your boundaries, once ignored, are now guarded with wisdom. Your trust, once stolen, is restored in Christ. And you no longer seek out those who diminished you. You stand in the truth of who God created you to be. What was meant to harm you, God transformed into strength. With each step of faith, new opportunities arise. Healthier relationships replace toxic ones. Your dependence on God deepens, and your purpose becomes clearer. What once held you back now serves as a testament to God's faithfulness. The journey was never just about survival. It was about living with purpose, healing, and divine restoration. Now, I invite you to declare this truth over your life. Write in the comments, "I walk in freedom. My future is in God's hands." Let this be your declaration of faith, a reminder that what God removes, He replaces with something much better. If this message touched your heart, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like so that we can continue bringing you more content like this. May God bless you, and see you in the next video.